What is up, guys? Dzeeff here, and welcome to a Legendary Duelist Immortal Destiny sort of discussion and box opening. I also picked up one of these new Duelist card cases, the Dark Hex version. This was actually in the OCG for a while, and a lot of players were liking it a lot, and they imported it into the TCG. There are a few differences. Obviously, you get the TCG logo, and I think it looks a little bit different, but overall, it's like the same sort of similar style. So if you guys want to pick one of these up, just go to your local game store or whatever. I have a lot of these like official Konami card cases. They are a lot higher quality than the official sleeves. The official sleeves are kind of meh, but the official card cases are pretty cool. They're a little bit smaller than you might want, but they are. I've used them at tournaments before. They're pretty nice. As far as the actual set itself goes, the set is pretty exciting. There's Earthbound Immortal support, which we just talked about. We have some other support in here for more of the evil archetypes. The evil heroes specifically are like the biggest deal. They are the three most expensive cards in the set, are the three ultra rares. The malicious one in particular is right now very expensive. I think at the time of filming, the market price is $30, but as far as TCG player goes, there's only like copies available for like $70. So probably don't buy them for $70, but I think they'll probably stay at that $30 range. As always, if you like to purchase some packs from this set, or the box itself, or the singles, which is usually the best way to go, make sure to use my link to tcgplayer.com. It'll be in the description below. A portion of those sales go right back into the channel. Without further ado, though, let's just start opening this. I just want to talk about it for a little bit here at the start. I've had a lot of really good luck with these Legendary Duelists. I've pulled extra ultra rares out of these boxes. I believe they're supposed to have 3 or 4, and I believe I've pulled 4 or 5. Whatever is like one higher than what you're supposed to pull. And I also want to say, as far as the packs that I open on this channel occasionally, we're not pack opening channel, we do open packs sometimes. This is one of the types of sets, these Legendary Duel sets, that actually frequently do make me my money back. And I know that sounds crazy because people usually consider these sets not very competitive, and while that is true, they usually have a lot of nostalgia cards included into them, and those nostalgia cards, they maintain their value a lot. So right now there's 3 evil hero ultra rares that are pretty expensive, like 20-30 bucks, and those cards will probably stay right around there for a while. We saw it with the Crystal Beast cards and the Thousand Eyes cards. We saw it with the Blue Eyes cards and the Train cards. Then these boxes are really cheap. Oh, we got dang, one of the worst ultra rares. We got a Castor Dawnwalker, which is the Ant card released way back. I think we actually just pulled that. We pulled a Supe. I can't remember if we pulled the Fire Ant one. So special summons the Fire Ant from the deck, makes a free Synchro Monster, I guess. That's not one of the better cards to pull, ultra rares to pull. Then we have an Evil Mind. I guess I'll put aside the rares as well. But I've actually like plussed pretty hard on these, and one of the reasons is because these boxes are super cheap. And when you consider like a normal box, you're getting what, like 2 ultra rares and a secret rare, or 2 secret rares, 4 ultra rares, but they're like $70, and a lot of times the ultra rares aren't very valuable. And these ones, though, you get 36 packs, which is pretty incredible. We got Preda planning there. 36 packs, you pull several ultra rares, you pull a whole bunch of super rares. These aren't like the regular core sets where you pull a super in every pack, but you still pull a lot of them. And what's especially cool, though, is that because you don't pull a holographic card in every pack, a lot of the times I've noticed, now that I've opened several of these, I mean, if we're talking about like the Train one, which is the last one that was like Sisters, I guess the Harpy cards were in there as well, and like the Blue Eyes one was really successful. Even the ones before that, though, like the Joey one, you have Salem Edition was a different set, but you have like a lot of them where you had some pretty high value ultra rares on release. But what's interesting is that those ultra rares actually usually retain their value. We have this looks really weird. This card has been reprinted so many times this year, and now has what, does it have a common printing? I don't know, but it has a rare, super rare, multiple ultra rare printings, as well as a secret rare, original secret rare. So that is a card that's been reprinted a lot. Really good with super polymerization. There actually is a new super polymerization target that you could consider playing out of this set, which is a super rare. So hopefully we can pull that so you guys can see it. Roar of the Earthbound Immortal. We have Dark Sanctuary. I believe this was an ultra rare or something in a previous set. But yeah, these cards, the ultra rares especially, but sometimes even the super rares, maintain their value for a while because, this isn't the most competitive set, so you have less people buying it. When you think of like the sets that people are really buying, oh nice, these cards look so cool. I really tried to win a Win-A-Mat at the recent YCS that had these Dark Spirits on them, or whatever the other one is called as well. But unfortunately, I lost in the finals, which was pretty sad. But these cards look really nice. I like them a lot. I'm not really sure how competitively viable they are. I mean, these sets aren't really meant to be super competitively viable. They're just sort of for fun, and a lot of times they have anime character decks and character cards in them. them, which is pretty cool. But I've actually, yeah, I've gotten some pretty decent sales off of like the train cards. I got a lot of those and the Sisters of Rose cards, and that's kind of cool. I think a lot of people don't give these sets enough credit. But yeah, you have a lot less people buying them, and whenever you have less people buying them, there's less of a supply in the market. So then even if the cards aren't like super competitive, if there's not that many in circulation because people aren't buying the set, then they actually do usually go up in price, or at least stay at whatever they were when they first came out. We have, oh nice, that is like the one of the $20 ultra rares, at least at the time of recording this video. We have Evil Hero Sinister and Necrom. Pretty cool card. Special summons a guy from your hand or deck. Man, I really like, I don't think I've ever really talked about this on the channel too much, but I actually used to like the Evil Heroes a lot. I remember back in the day pulling like 2 copies of Malicious Edge, which I thought was like the coolest card I'd ever seen in my life. So I have a small liking for the Evil Hero monsters, and we have like Dark Fusion, which is pretty cool. You could do some funny stuff with that, playing some really big rock monsters, as well as some, you can play Dark Calling as well in those decks, but you'd play some really big rock monsters, some really big fiend monsters, just like a whole bunch of cards you can't use, but that summon a huge Evil Hero Dark Gaia, and hopefully just attack your opponent for games. So I like the Evil Heroes a lot. They're pretty cool. And I believe you pull, I think you're supposed to pull either 3 or 4 ultra rares in these packs. I know in the past, I think the Blue Eyes only pulled like 5 ultra rares, which is pretty insane. But usually I think you're just supposed to pull 3 or 4. I can never quite remember the exact number. A lot of gimmick puppet stuff in here. This Evil Mind as well is pretty cool. But yeah, as far as this set goes, I'm not sure if the I will say the reprints in this set are kind of lackluster. A lot of times these Legendary Duelists do reprint some pretty nice cards, but there we go. Earthbound Immortal. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. I cleverly, some of you pointed out that I cleverly avoided pronouncing a single Earthbound Immortal card in the Why Nobody Plays Earthbound Immortals video. I just talked about them generically. Luckily, they all have very, very similar effects, and I think when I talked about the one specifically, I would mention like what kind of animal or creature they are, like the spider one or whatever. We have Sentence of Doom, which, man, this is a card that I feel like would not have been approved. That's like a Ouija board, right? Why would you, I can't imagine like Konami like 10 years ago approving something with that artwork. It's, I think a lot of people have noticed that Konami has really lightened up on their censorship, which I think people are excited about. I mean, if anything, like the Lost Art promotion, which is, if you buy, it's like $30 worth of stuff at your local OTS store. Oh my gosh, pulling these Earthbound Immortal Ultra is not very good, but it's fine. So we have Earthbound Greater Linewalker, a card that I briefly talked about at the end of that Why Don't We Plays Earthbound Immortal video. If you control a Synchro Monster and have a Synchro Monster in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, you can add one Earthbound Immortal Monster from your deck to or graveyard to your hand. If your Earthbound Immortal Monster is normal summon while this card is on the field, you can make your opponent's life points 3,000, obviously setting you up for a quick OTK there. A lot of people mention this card. Does this make them competitive? Not really. I think it's asking a little bit too much out of play. It's a cool effect, don't get me wrong. I think lore-wise it's kind of cool requiring you to have a Synchro Monster and then also there to be a Synchro Monster in the graveyard. And I guess like OTKing your opponents is kind of funny with that effect, but consistently wise, it's not very good. Oh my god. Evil Hero Infernal Prodigy. Pretty cool stuff. Gimmick Puppet Terror Baby. Some crazy cards in here, but yeah, I think the reprints in this set could have been a little better. I don't think there's like that many great reprints. It doesn't seem like there's any generic cards at all that got reprinted. I mean, I know it can be kind of weird or difficult from Konami's perspective to fit those into the set, but if you're not looking for any of the new cards, there's not really a huge reason to actually buy these products. So Evil Hero Malicious Fiend, which I think is very much so outclassed by the new one. The new one's pretty cool. I believe it can't be destroyed, and also it has like a board clearing effect, and it's, yeah, I like it a lot. It'd be cool if we pulled one of those. I don't think we will, though, because we already pulled 3 Ultra Rares, which were all on the right side. Kind of funny, think about. Ultimate Earthbound Immortal. Was this one of the new cards? I don't think so. No, this was definitely... Was it? I don't know. If a normal summon or set Earthbound Immortal monster on the field, you can target one face monster in the field, destroy it. That feels like a newer card. I know they have a new spell card in this set, and that is a super, but this might be a new card as well. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember that one coming up in my original analysis of the Earthbound Immortals when I was doing the research for those videos. We have another Sentence of Doom. Oh yeah, what I was saying is that the Lost Art promotion. Sorry, sometimes I lose my train of thought when I pull a holographic card. The Lost Art promotion, I think, is really Konami showing that they're willing to sort of go back on some of those older censored card artworks and just say, you know what, maybe those aren't so bad these days. And I think that's pretty cool. I think people really like that a lot. Dark Sanctuary, pulled a lot of those. But I think that, like, as far as censored cards go, I'm not, like, the biggest... You're not going to find me, like, really complaining about cards being censored. I usually don't care that much. But I know to a lot of people, it does matter a lot. And a lot of them, especially back in the day, it did seem pretty silly. This card's pretty cool, actually. So, Evil Mind, we pulled a couple of these, but I'll read it real quick. It says, if you control a Fiend monster, activate one of these effects based on the number of monsters in your opponent's graveyard. If they have 1 or more, you can draw 1 card. 4 or more, you get to add a hero monster or a Dark Fusion from your deck to the hand. And add 10 or more, which isn't that unreasonable, honestly, in current format. You have add 1 polymerization spell or infusion spell from your deck to your hand. You only activate 1 Evil Mind per turn, which is pretty cool. The important part here is I believe that because this card does say Dark Fusion in its text, you can search it with the new Evil Hero Captain Gold retrain. I can't remember what the guy's. I think he might just be called Evil Hero Gold or something. That guy is really cool though. I wish we pulled one. I like his artwork a lot. But you can, I believe you can search the Evil Mind with that. Pretty nice stuff. We got another Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. I don't know what cards they could have like reprinted in here. I honestly would have liked to see more Earthbound Immortal cards. I mean, I know it's not like the key selling point of this set, but a lot of those cards, people were sort of asking about, oh nice, we got Preda Practice. I believe this card is like the 4th most or 5th most expensive card in the set as far as Ultra Rares go. So we have special summon 1 Predaplant monster from your hand, then add 1 Predap card from your deck to the hand except Preda Practice. Also for us this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except fusion monsters. So you can only activate 1 of these per turn, which is kind of neat. The new Predaplant Fusion Monster, which we could pull. Also, it's kind of crazy that we've pulled more Ultras than we have Supers at this point, but hopefully we'll see that new Predaplant Super Rare Fusion Monster. It is pretty cool, and I think it's actually probably the most competitive card in this entire set, so it'd be really nice to... oh my gosh, there it is. we called it out. So we have Predaplant, whatever that guy is. Look at him, he's crazy. But the important part here is that you can summon him with 3 dark monsters on the field, so actually 1 more than Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Admittedly, right now, probably not the greatest time for this card to see competitive success. The Orcus deck usually just ends on 2 dark monsters, and we don't really see a lot of Guard Dragon decks around these days. And the ones that we do see, which I guess Pendulum's been playing Guard Dragons a little bit, those ones end on not 3 dark monsters, they end on like a lot of different attributes. But this card in the future definitely could be a very, very competitive card. It is by far the most hyped competitive card of this entire set, so make sure you grab a copy just in case you don't have one. And of course, use that link to tcplayer.com, but you don't have to buy it right now. It's whatever. You can wait for it to go down in price. But it is likely, I would be very surprised if Super Poly stays at like 3 or even 2 copies if this card does not end up getting played in some topping lists or a couple topping lists within the next couple years. It is just 3 dark monsters is very, very good. That's against dark decks. I mean, that is basically what people were thinking that the Trishula fusion could do, which is just any 3 monster cards. Also, this card does, if you are playing zombie decks, you definitely want to be playing this card. Holy crap. I guess not so much zombie decks, but decks playing Layer of Darkness. Sorry, two different field spell decks. If you are playing a Layer of Darkness deck, my mistake there, you will definitely want to be playing this card just because it, if you can just use any 3 of your opponent's monsters because you turn them all to dark. The zombies have their own really good Super Poly target, which just takes any 2 zombie monsters, but sorry, I mixed up 2 rogue strategies that both use a very similar field spell that changes the... Oh, we got another... Wow, what the heck? Dark Spirits Mastery. Oh, I think this was the 4th most expensive one. So we actually have pulled, of the top 5 most expensive cards, we actually have pulled 3 of them, the Evil Hero and these 2 spell cards. So that's pretty cool as well. Kind of a weird looking artwork there. We got Dark Necrofear in the background. So I really feel like you're not supposed to pull this many Ultras. I feel like this happened last time as well. I think you're supposed to pull 4 on average, but the set ratios on these seem to always be kind of messed up, because I feel like in the past we've also pulled 5 a few times, and we pulled 4 a couple times, so I'm not entirely sure. But if we're only supposed to pull 4, it must not be 3, but if we're only supposed to pull 4, then I would consider us very lucky. But we're actually, it's almost looking like we're going to pull more Ultra Rares than Super Rares, which would be kind of crazy. I'm sure we'll even out here, just as I say that. Gimmick Puppet Bisque Doll. So we have, now we're up to 5 and 5 here, but I'm assuming we'll pull a couple more Super Rares. I thought Super Rares were like 6 or 7 of them, so we'll have to see. It would be kind of weird though if it was 7, because that would be odd numbers for the Ultras and the Super Rares, which I don't think is how they usually do these sets. Supreme King's Castle. Bunch of castle looking spells in this set. So unfortunately, I mean, we can say we only have a couple packs left here. Have not pulled the the really expensive card, the malicious fusion monster. I don't know if that card's like super short printed. It must be. For an extra deck monster to be the most valuable card in a set like this, must mean that it's like short printed. If you remember, like Bingo Machine Go was like not an extra deck card, but it was short printed and by far the most valuable set out of the Kaiba version of Legendary Duelist. I don't think it was actually called Kaiba. It was called like White Dragon something, I believe. Not Blue Eyes White Dragon. And then we have Gimmick Puppet Gigantes Doll. That guy looks terrifying. Isn't that Gimmick Puppet like Egghead or whatever? Oh my gosh. Not Humpty Dumpty, but Egghead, I believe is what it's called. That guy always freaked me out. So we have 6 super rares here. Can we pull a 7th one? Or is it both odd numbers? I really feel like it's not, but we'll have to see if in these last 2 packs. No super rare there. We got another Dark Sanctuary. We got some cool comments in the set. A lot of the Predaplants have received holographic printings before this, so unless you're really trying to play them on a budget, you'll probably not play with these common versions. But honestly, if you're getting back into the game and you just liked one of the anime decks that was featured in this, either Evil Heroes Earthbounds or the Dark Necrofear stuff, I don't think it'd even be like that crazy to buy like this set and build a pretty competent casual strategy. Oh nice, you pulled the other Dark Spirit. So we have Dark Spirit of Malice. So we pulled both of those cards, which are both super rares, and then we pulled the Dark Spirit's Mastery as well. So that was pretty cool. Nice balance of stuff that we pulled here. Nothing too crazy, but we did pull 3 of the 5 most expensive cards, just not the 2 most expensive cards. But honestly, a lot of the ultra rares are about the same. They're either $20 or they're $13 right now, so we'll have to wait and see what happens over the next couple weeks. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to buy any of the cards, like I mentioned a few times now, make sure to use my link in the description below. That does help me out a lot. I'll see you later, though. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.